guys, it's Jason the X for SCNS Live, powered by Solinks.com. And if we're shooting from here, it's another big time review. And this is one I've had for a while, but I've wanted to get to it. So let's take a look at Masterpiece Ultra Magnus. Look at this thing. I love this figure. This is such a great masterpiece and probably the biggest one that they've done to date. And I can't say enough about it. It's so good. Craftsmanship, the way it matches up with some of the other figures is just amazing. So we're just going to put them slightly to the side. Now, if you've seen Masterpiece boxes, well, let's get a look at the box that he comes in. To give you an idea, this is the box that he comes in. To scale, here's Bumblebee. So yeah, you get an idea. This box is massive. Now, taking a close look at the box, we get Magnus in his robot mode. We get a nice shot of his vehicle mode there. On the side, you get just your regular Masterpiece Ultra Magnus. Nice silver lettering, same side. Same thing on the other side. You get a couple of warnings and all of the accessories that he comes with on the box. Everything in there, yes. And we'll be going over all of that stuff. And on top, you get another image of Magnus getting ready to throw down. And on the back, you've got some, you got like a half image of Magnus. And that's actually the to scale picture on the side there. Just pull it back a little bit. There's the scale picture. And you can see on the back that you got a little bit of Magnus and showing the size comparison he has to Prime and just some of the other things the figure can do. Yeah, so that's a box. I also like the fact that this was the clamshell it came in, and that's just great. I love it. Love it. It's just such a huge, beefy clamshell. Now, upon closer examination of the actual car carrier, you see you got a nice cab up front, which is actually perfectly in scale with the Optimus vehicle mode. And you do have some tilt here, but this is about as far as you can go. And you kind of have to be careful because right here, these rubber wheels will catch onto the side of this portion right here. So you have to kind of wiggle it past there. It just kind of pops out. And he does have rubber wheels. I don't know how, I mean, a lot of people were complaining about the rubber wheels. I hope they last. But you got a nice Autobot logo here. You got some chrome on the stacks. You got those nice flip out windows that we saw on MP10. Nice chrome grille. And also you can actually take this portion off. And this still actually becomes part of the robot, but not like the old Ultra Magnus did. You got some nice chrome wheels here, chrome gas tanks. And the bottom here, you've got the hole where it actually does come out. You got a little release mechanism right here. Sorry for the shine there, but yeah. Underneath, you can see his head. And the one thing is, like, when he's down on the ground, you can kind of see that head will droop down sometimes. And it'll actually scrape, so be careful with that. Because mine, the neck joint is not that tight, as you can see. So you kind of have to slide it, just a word of warning, and kind of wedge it in there. So yeah, nice chrome on the wheels. You got that nice red bumper, which is accurate to the cartoon, but not to the original toy. The chrome on the lights. Nice translucent windows, and if you look inside, there's something there we'll be taking a look at later when we take a look at the accessories. But when you want to put it back on, you've got just a little peg on the truck that fits right in there. You can just peg it down. Now, of course, the truck does have the signature red missile launchers, which are actually posable. You can take these. If I turn it around this way, you can actually take these and not separate this part. And I won't do them at the same time. And you just kind of rotate it on this axis here, and then you can put them right into the front. So yeah, not too bad. I mean, I don't like them like that, but it is an option. One thing I do find is he's pretty solid in this base state. I can take him and pick him up here, and he won't fall apart. So yeah, you got a nice Autobot logo on the top, on the track where the cars will go. Nice chrome wheels, like I said, and you still got rubber wheels back here. A lot of die cast in this guy too. This whole back section is die cast. And just to give an idea of the scale of Magnus, we can go ahead and bring in some of the Autobots here. We've got Wheeljack. We can put him there. Let's go ahead and put Prowl in. See what it looks like up next to, we'll move him back, up next to Sideswipe and Bumblebee. So you get an idea of the size comparison between them all. And this is a really beefy figure. And also the back does let down, just like the old school one did. So you can put the little Autobots up in there. You know, trying to take a ride. I don't know why they would need to ride in a car carrier, considering they are cars. If you saw that on my Instagram, you get that little. You can also unpeg these parts in the back. They're just held on by 2 tabs. Right here. The tab into these parts here. And you just lower it down. And it's not, I mean, it's not great, but it is a ramp going up into the top section. But when you want to put it back on, you just got these same 2 tabs here. Of course, got 2 slots over here. Just take those and slot them in just like that. And they stay locked together pretty well. It's mostly friction. Well, like I said, you can take your Autobots and throw them in here. And even put 2 on top, so there you go. And, you know, there you have the old school. I remember the commercial. They had all the guys on there. Hot Rod was one of them. Maybe they need to remake Masterpiece Hot Rod in this scale. Now, here's where the figure really shines to me, because you do have this car carrier, which, you know, was basically a white Optimus Prime back in the day. So it was the same vehicle. Well, he scales perfectly with MP10. The truck modes are almost exactly the same. Looking at these guys up close, there is virtually no real difference between them. I mean, you've got the same features are shared between them, maybe a few here and there, but otherwise, they're practically the same figure. Well, I'm sorry, the same truck. So let's go ahead and just take Magnus off of here again, so you can get a better look at the 2 truck modes close up. Now, you do have corresponding Autobot logos. The windows are the same. The translucent plastic used on both sides, that's the same. Especially in the front, same grill, except this one's red, this one's shiny down here. But yeah, I mean, he does have a couple of extra tabs on here that are going to be used during the robot mode. But even the stacks are pretty much the same. These guys really match up well for something that's going to become 2 totally different bots. It's really wild. I love how they were able to incorporate this. This is some genius engineering here. And for our last comparison, it wouldn't be a complete review if I didn't bring in my old school G1 Magnus and show that off. So yeah, this guy, he's seen a lot of wear, but he's doing pretty well. So you get an idea of what the 2 figures look like stacked up next to each other. Oh man, I remember this guy. I used to love this guy so much. But yeah, out with the old and here's the new, baby. Now, before we get too far into the accessories, I do want to show off one thing. Now, I did show you that there were 2 figures riding inside of here, and what you do is you pop this top. This is part of the transformation. And if you look inside, you can see Daniel and Spike in their costumes from the movie sitting inside the cab, just pegged into a rectangular port down there. You gotta wedge them in here a little bit, so you just pull them out, and there you go. And we have some really tiny figures here. I mean, these guys are very, very small, but they are perfectly to scale with that truck mode. Now, here's the Spike that came with MP10. So you can see he's a little bit shorter. And then Spike as a grown-up, so there you go. I guess him and Daniel are just a little bit out of scale, so there you go. And of course, here are the figures compared to the exosuit Daniel or Spike, whichever one that was supposed to be. It's probably Daniel. One more accessory, you do get this nice card that we have been seeing included with all of the Masterpiece figures. Not too bad, some nice artwork of Ultra Magnus there. And on the back, you get pretty much that image that you saw on the back of the box. It also comes with a handy-dandy instruction manual, which is actually very informative. Doesn't really miss any steps. Not too many frills to it, just a lot of black and white images. However, on the back, they do have incarnations of Magnus, which I thought was kind of cool, except where they included like 2 Prime versions, and there was a different version. So yeah, you didn't have to do that. Could have changed it up, guys. Now that we got all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to the transformation. So the first thing you want to do is right up here, you can see his gun is stored between these 2 blue parts. It's actually pegged in there. You just want to kind of separate that, and it'll drop out. And it's just a little ball and a stem here. They just kind of friction together between these two spaces here. And I'll actually almost transform there. And it's got a little handle that clicks down. You'll need that later for transformation. So anyway, the first thing we want to do is go ahead and unpin the arms. Well, it's going to become the arms from here. Take these portions and bring them forward, because what's going to happen is you're going to end up tilting this up just to get it out of your way. Actually, no. What you can do is just take these arms and just go ahead and separate them. Now we want to go ahead and start getting to the legs. And you have these panels on the side. What they do is they kind of slide into the front here. They have a little tab. But there's a hinge right here that actually goes out. And you can just push that hinge out. And do the same thing to the other side. So you get kind of something going there like that. I've already unpegged the arms. Now what are going to become the feet, this whole part, you can just take it and just ratchet it down. Actually, before you do that, I'm sorry. Before you do that, you want to take these red panels here that are actually connected to the blue panels and twist them in. They're on a little tab right here. And you can see that little tab right there. You're going to need to kind of wedge them out of there and then just fold them around to the back. So same thing with the other side here. Just going to peg that out. And you want to take these and just collapse them down. And once those are collapsed down, you can take these feet, or the back portion of the cab, and just rotate them up. And there, we've got feet. On the back, I just want to notice there's these little tabs here. And there's a little slot inside of here, and you're just going to kind of push those together, and that'll help keep the back of the legs all intact. So you just do it to the other side too. Just go ahead and make that part go in there, and there's your little tab right there. Goes right into that slot, and just frictions together. So next we're going to start working on the top here. So first thing you want to do is take these wheels here, the back wheels of the cab section, and just fold those in and push them in until they lock. And there you go. And that'll help keep things steady up here, because otherwise it will just be turning on that pivot joint. Take that portion of the cab that we unpegged earlier to take Spike and Daniel out, and just bring the whole thing, and the two, it fell down here. But what you want to do is take this whole front portion and flip it around and to the back. And once you got that going to the back, you can take this part here and just fold it up right alongside there. And right here, it does have a hinge, but you want to leave these silver fuel tanks up and bring that in like so. Now there is a blue tab right here on the back that's going to have a little slot that's in the front of the cab right here, right underneath where the wind vane kind of is. You just bring that down and just peg it in. That'll give you some stability. These two portions here, you can take those and pull them out and just fold them up. I really want to get these arms transformed because they're starting to annoy me. But you want to fold that up, and what happens is on the inside of the white portion was a small peg that was right here. What that's going to do is pin right into this hole in the hubcap of the tire. So you just push that in, we'll rotate it down, and it'll slide back in, and it just frictions in there. You can do the same thing to the other side. Take this portion that was on the back and fold it up. Now, one thing that you do have here, you have these little peg systems here. What this is an extra face for Magnus, which we're going to take off right now, but you can actually peg two in here. I don't know why, because he's wearing one at all times. So, yeah, but you just fold that up. One thing I did forget on the cab portion is the smokestacks here, which are actually still rotated down. You can take those and just make them do a 180, and they will be completely hidden when you lower the chest piece. And actually, one thing I did forget was this was supposed to be up. It actually locked in up here in car carrier mode, and I had left it down because I was playing with it. But you want to fold that down, and then you're starting to get the crotch plate and belt for Magnus, and you can bring down the back of the truck, which is actually going to become his armor, and it just kind of tabs in right there. Now starting on these arms, what you've got right here is a small white tab, and you've got a slot on the inside of here, and you're just going to bring that together, and it'll actually give you a nice little satisfying click. And do that to the other side. Getting closer on the arms, you want to take these pieces here and bring them up. Well, first thing you want to do is take this whole arm assembly here, take this part and, well, it's actually on the other side. On the inside, you'll see this tab here. Take that and push it in, and it'll fold right into the top. What that's going to create for you is a cavity for this back assembly on the arm of the shoulder here to go down and actually fit right in there. So you don't have to do any sliding on this guy to make the arms go to their normal length. Coming to the top of the arm, you want to take this portion and just kind of bend it up, well, on its joint, and just pop that in right there. Now coming back around to this arm, you want to put this up like that, and then you can angle this down, it's on that double hinge, and put the missile pod facing forward. Next up, this arm is actually on a double hinge as well. You can take it and unpeg it. As you can see, here's your double hinge inside the cab and at the bridge, the base of the arm at the shoulder, and just bring that forward, give them a more natural appearance. Moving on, you'll see we've done the same thing to the other side. Well, not last, but you want to take these panels here and open them up, and they're also on a double hinge. Just open them up and push them back. You can actually bring the arm out a little bit and then close them back together. They just friction back together. Last thing, and it's more of an order of preference. Now on the bottom you have the wheels for the cab here. Well, what you can do is take these and pull them down, and you can flip them around, and you've got like a smaller set of fake wheels, and you just push it back up into there. So nice job there making that in. It does give you a more cartoon accurate Ultra Magnus. And ladies and gentlemen, we have Ultra Magnus in his robot mode. Now I love the size of this guy. He's the biggest masterpiece figure that we've had so far. As far as like with this new line. I'm not talking about Megatron or MPO1. This guy is just great, and he's such a chunk. Got a bit of die cast down here in the feet. Right here in the crotch area for the body. So it's giving a lot of stability, but man, he's got just these heavy legs, and he just feels really solid. I really like what they did. I can't say enough about this guy. He's just that good. Getting a better look at some of the detail on this guy, I mean, he's got a really, really stoic Ultra Magnus look. It doesn't get any better than that. Just so accurate to the character. You got these nice translucent windows here. Everything just screams G1. Even the belt is just perfect. Now, I do wish we got a little bit more detail down here because it's just that white plastic, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers, okay? Got a nice molded Autobot symbol here. And the missile pods. Now, these missiles do not fire, but they will pop out. Not very easily. But you can take them out, but they are not spring-loaded at all. Now, articulation-wise, he does have a bit of ankle tilt here. And you do have some nice detail here when you pull this down. So they did actually put some molding in there. I gotta like that. Nothing back and forth, just something he can make an A stance. You have knee joints that will give you almost 90 degree, but there's part of that red part that we folded that keeps it from going. But you do have some nice heavy ratchet joints. You do have a, well, no, you don't have it. I thought you had a thigh swivel here, but it looks like that's just a part of the plastic. You do get an out. The hips will go out, and these plates will move and go about that far. You got a kind of a soft ratchet to the front, but a harder one towards the back. No waist articulation just because of the way the truck transforms. Now, he does have this skirt in the back that some people were saying that was bad. I mean, you can fold it up, but it still kind of sticks out. I really don't have a problem with it. The shoulders, while they would seem limited, they're actually not too bad because you can just move these out a little bit, and you can actually still tilt these up. There's actually a ratchet joint inside the shoulder, so you can go up and down just a little bit. So it gives it a little bit more articulation. The elbows are at almost 90 degree. And you do have finger articulation. You get the pointer finger is articulated here, and the other three are together. Nothing on the thumb. And also, while we're on the subject, you can take his gun, which does have that tab system that a lot of the Masterpieces have. You can just take that, put it in there, and peg it in. And he holds it if you peg it in, he holds it fairly well. There we go. So yeah, very nice. Now back to this really expressive head that I was talking about. Like I said, it's on a nice ball joint. It can't do much, but you can change the faces. What you want to do is take this whole portion here off, and what you're left with is almost kind of a prime head, which I kind of dig, although it is the stuff of nightmares, because he's like, give me my face! Ah! Ah! Excuse me, sorry. Anyway, so what you do have is the front portion here, and that's just tabbed into the back here. You're going to just take that and just push it out, and you can take the other face and replace it, leaving you with Screaming Magnus face, which you just peg that back on. It doesn't hold on. It doesn't feel like it tabs in heavily. It just kind of sits there. So there you got Magnus yelling stuff. Now the other cool thing about this figure, as long as we have him in this screaming face, what else he does come with are these two interchangeable hands, which are basically just fists, respect, that have a groove inside of them. Now what that is for to recreate that famous Matrix scene. And one thing that Magnus does have to have is a spark chamber to hold the Matrix. So you want to bring up his armor here and open these two portions, and there you can see a chamber that will actually house the Matrix that came from Optimus Prime. You can just put that in there, and it fits pretty well. Now we get him closed back up, so you know you can get ready to wield the Matrix. What you want to do is take these hands, and they're just on little ball joints, and just take them and pop them right off. You want to take the other hands, pop them on those ball joints. And after putting his arms in the air, and as you can see, he can bend in at the elbows pretty well. So you can take your Matrix and just kind of slide it in between the hands. And you can say, damn it, Prime, open. This said it would open during our darkest hour. Damn it. Why? Why? All right, last off, let's get some comparison in. So here's Masterpiece Ultra Magnus compared to my G1 Magnus, which is missing some parts, but get over it. So yeah, this is really, I mean, there's no comparison. I mean, I love my G1 Magnus, don't get me wrong, but this guy is really what the Masterpiece should be. It should be an upgrade of this. And for a few more comparisons, here's how he stacks up to Masterpiece Optimus Prime. So yeah, he is definitely the biggest one that we've gotten so far in these current Masterpiece figures. And here we have him next to Soundwave. And last but not least, here we have him standing next to just a bunch of Masterpiece figures to see how he stacks up. So as you can see, this guy is huge, and I love the size, I love the transformation. The colors are so rich and vibrant, especially compared to my old G1 Magnus. This figure is very, very well done. Now, he does come at a higher price tag than any Masterpiece we've seen so far. Well, not any Masterpiece, but in the current incarnations of him. He is a pricey figure. Is he worth it? Absolutely. Ultra Magnus is, it's heavy, it's bulky, it feels really solid. You actually feel like you're getting your money's worth with a figure like this. So do I recommend it? Yes. Try to get it for as low as you can, though. I really hope you can find this guy, because he is a shame not to have this one in your collection. So anyway, guys, that's it. I'm Jason the X for Cinelinks.com and SCNS Live. Make sure you catch the show, like this video, and subscribe. Sorry it was so long, but until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.